this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Reverend John Martin. And Reverend John Martin has this question. And it is a question about palmistry. And John starts by telling us that it's his understanding that in palmistry, the left hand represents potential while the right hand represents manifestation. And with the exception that I think most contemporary palmists would say that the non-dominant hand represents potential and the dominant hand represents manifestation, regardless of left or right, this is otherwise true. And John tells us that some years ago, he was injured on his left hand, which is his non-dominant potential hand palmistry-wise, and that the injury caused a change in the shape of his heart line. In subsequent years, he found this change mirrored in his actual romantic life, and he also found that the heart line in his right hand seemed to change in a way that seemed to mirror the change caused by the injury to the left hand. And so John's questions are these. In palmistry, if the hand is changed through an injury, does this count in how you read the lines and other aspects of the palm? And 2, is it to be expected that a change in the lines on the non-dominant hand may be mirrored in the dominant hand? And finally, is this an example of as above, so below? And in answer to the first question, yes it does. In answer to the second question, yes it can. And in answer to the third question, yes it is. In fact, this is extremely illustrative of the idea as above, so below. Part of this idea is that there are not really coincidences, and that everything can be a message to you from spirit. And so simply because that change is caused from outside doesn't mean the change is not significant. It is still significant if palmistry has significance to you. The way that deity will speak to you varies from person to person. And deity will use the symbols that you are accustomed to and accepting of to speak to you in these ways. So if palmistry is one for you, then yes, a change to your palm, even if caused from an injury, will be a message to you. It will be part of the reading of that palm. And yes, you will see changes in both the left and right hand, regardless of which is dominant or non-dominant. They both will change throughout life. And changes on one are frequently reflected on the other. Although sometimes the potential hand and the manifestation hand can be drastically different. But these things, of course, are very individual. The difference between the potential hand and the manifestation hand, of course, is the idea that the potential hand represents what can be done in the life, and the manifestation hand represents what is being done. But both of them do change, just as our potential, in fact, does change. And we talked the other day about the idea of the soul contract, and that it is constantly adjusted during the life, and this is reflected in the palms, which certainly do not look the same for most people at the end of their life as they did at the beginning, and in fact change regularly throughout the years. And if you study palmistry, you will see that this is so. So those would be my answers to the questions. I hope you find them helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. The Tarot of Hecate, my 100-card tarot deck 30 years in the making, finally available to you from witchschoolstore.com. Check out a copy today.